Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Escape from San Francisco podcast. We have a great one today.
Yeah.
I have beer and art enthusiast. He is a designer and illustrator. And the way we came across paths is because he created this amazing beer. And I am so interested in the artwork behind it and just the person what was his thought process. And how did he come up with designs and concepts, and it's a great tasting quality beer. It's a low percentage ABV, so like I like it a lot. Without further ado, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm happy to be here. This is dope. Like, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm super excited, you know.
And I want to say again too, as I forgot to mention earlier, but thanks to Speakeasy for letting us shoot here.
Yeah.
They always put on amazing beers, and this is the place that you collabed with and created your beer. So would you like to go into your beer a little bit?
Yeah. So I pretty much had an idea of just putting art on my beer, and once I kind of got the wheels turning on it, you know, I already had a foot in the door because I knew the taproom manager of Speakeasy, and he followed me for about 4 years and wanted to figure out how we can, you know, collab and integrate the art community with the beer community, and how does that look? So I, you know, worked on some ideas, some concepts, and submitted several, you know, pieces to be selected. But more importantly, I wanted to make it about the process and the education behind what it takes to, you know, follow through and create a quality product. Aside from being an artist, but also collaborating with establishments such as Speakeasy and breweries in general, because this is my first beer. You know, my idea was, I just want my artwork on beer. And the more I researched, the more I worked on this project, I started learning beer culture, the beer community here in the greater Bay Area. And it started to take my whole idea to the next level, you know, as far as what type of taste I want to go for, you know, what am I trying to, you know, showcase at the end of the day to my audience. And majority of my audience, they may not drink beer. They don't drink beer, you know, but I was able to work around that and cater to, you know, pretty much what I'm hearing. And this beer is a German style sour infused with yuzu lemon. And that's what really captures people's attention, aside from the artwork that I created along with Ahmad Jones for the beer. But it was, I don't drink beer. Or I'm not really a beer person. Cool. And these people that support me that don't drink beer, it's all like, this beer is for you then, because it is a introduction to developing your palate if you wanted to get into the beer world or community.
It's very flavorful. I love yuzu, and I really do love the yuzu drinks. I usually get the yuzu sake when I go to some sushi.
Definitely.
Or I find it at H Mart.
Oh, yeah.
They opened one out here in the city now, and so like I go there and they usually have the yuzu sake that I like, and it's really cheap and it's just flavorful. And then I've had other yuzu beers, and one of my buddy works at Bedmo, so during the pandemic we're just bored as shit, so we're just trying beers from all over. Like every week we tried a new different region and part of the world to try beer from, and we tried the beers from like Japan, and they have really good quality beers, and one of them was like a yuzu lager. It has like an owl on there, on the cover. It's like really simple, like artwork is really good, but like the beer is really tasty.
Got you.
So that has like developed my interest into like yuzu flavored type of drinks, and yours is just like perfect because it's not heavy. It's a really low alcohol content beer, and it's just like right to the point. I forgot to mention your name at the beginning. I feel
Oh, it's
really
all
bad.
good. If y'all don't know, now y'all know. It's Aaron Beitia. I am King Beitia on Instagram. Follow me, support, and show some love. We coming to you in Frisco. It's my first interview in San Francisco. So we keeping the ball rolling and we breaking those glass ceilings.
There you go, man.
For sure.
I appreciate you again. So from what I'm gathering is that you really didn't know that much the process that goes into creating a beer when you first started, and then you just learned that learned it along the way.
Absolutely.
Were you I don't know if you mentioned this, but were you like a heavy beer enthusiast before you got started, or is it just something that since you're an artist, you're just like it's just something that you wanted to merge?
I wasn't an enthusiast prior, but I did drink beer, similar to people that drink alcohol to get drunk. You feel me? It was being able to actually know the why behind the product instead of just consuming the product. And it was able to heighten and enlighten my knowledge of the why behind beer, the different types of beer, and, handcrafted beer, because that's its own community in and of itself within the beer community.
Yeah, I feel like ever since I started getting back into like craft beers again and just learning about it, I feel like I became a snob because like every time I go out and stuff, like I do not want to drink cheap beer. Like I want to know if there's anything on tap good. Is there anything local?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any hazies or anything like that? And I feel like so snobby about that because I was the type of person that like I'll drink whatever is cheap. Yeah. And then that was it. Like we're drinking to catch a buzz, whatnot. But then you develop a sense of
your palate.
Yeah, you just like want something more flavorful, tasty. Like I'm not the type to get all crazy drunk or anything like that. I don't like liquor.
Got you.
I'm not a huge liquor fan or anything like that. And so like I gravitated always towards beer and ciders. And so this one for me is like a really good beer that you mentioned that could bring someone into it that doesn't care for beer, don't like beer.
Absolutely.
In that way. And it's like, it's something, have you noticed about it that people who don't like beer or just never really had interest in it or are consuming it and they have their thoughts about it?
Definitely. I mean, when I'm here at Speakeasy and people come in that don't drink beer or that are looking to get into beer and they always ask for reference points or what's a good beer to start off. If I'm here, I'm going to be like, yo, you definitely want to go with the Beitia Barreliner Wise. One, because it's infused with lemon. Two, because, it's not like an IPA. A lot of the time with my beer, if I'm trying to promote it, market, or sell it, a lot of people are like, is it like an IPA? Like, I don't like heavy beers, and I don't like that taste up front. And
that natural, taste.
The hops, all of that. So I'm like, it's not like that.
It's acquired taste.
Exactly. Beer in general is an acquired taste.
Could I ask you this?
Yeah.
Do you like wine? Because I do not like wine at all.
Yeah.
I cannot get into it. I try, and it's like the taste is just so nasty to me.
It's an acquired taste.
I do not like it. Like, I'll drink IPAs and all that stuff. But, like, when it comes to wine, like, I try to get into it. And, like, everyone always, like, oh, you need to start with this, you need to start with that. And, like, the only thing I like is, like, Prosecco and, like, champagne.
You like the sparkling wine, the champagne, the good.
Too much of that gives you, like, a nasty headache. And so,
champagne in general gives you a nasty headache, and it depends on what type of wine. I will say, when I was first getting into wine, it's funny, I was telling my mom this the other day, I started off with Carlos Rossi, you feel me? Like, I was on Carlos Rossi in college, like, that's my shit, you feel me? But the more I started to develop my palate, the more I learned about the different types of wine, and what that meant and what to look for as far as a flavor profile on my palate, the more I began to understand and going to wineries in Napa, and sommeliers and seeing what that process is like. Everything boils down to a certain process in order to get a certain type of product and quality out of that product.
Did that help you create this?
It developed my palate, yes. Yeah, it definitely channeled more specifically what I wanted to cater to as far as my flavor profile for the actual beer. And that's why I wanted to make it a point when creating the Berliner Weiss was I don't want it to be upfront. Like I don't want it to be, loud upfront, I would like for the beer to be more so freely accepted and open. So what does that look like tasting it? What does that look like as far as the quality of the product itself? Developing that and talking to the actual brewers and working with the brewers to create this quality of a beer was really the biggest process and insight I was able to get from working on this project, because it's more than just putting artwork on a label. It's more than just putting something on a can and trying to sell it. The thought behind the contents that are going into it in order to create it means a lot more. So when the wider audience gets their hands on it, it's something that we can all appreciate. You know what I'm saying?
Do you mean like white audience or like a wider audience?
Wider audience. Here you go.
The only reason why I'm half joking because it's just like the craft beer industry is pretty much dominated by white people. I mean, nothing wrong with any of that, but it's just like, how do you get more people from different backgrounds into this space?
Well,
by creating something like your product, right?
Well, that's funny because yes, you're absolutely correct. And I felt that going through this process, being my first process, I wanted to make it an educational roller coaster, if you will. And what I mean by that is, yes, for me personally, I feel like the POC community may not be that educated as far as the beer community is, so if I have this beer product and I want to sell it to that category or that audience, what does that actually look like? I can't just sell a product to them without explaining it. So I took it upon myself to take the time out of not only selling, but educating the process, and so that they can actually picture the quality that they're going to be presented with if they buy my product. This isn't just because I just wanted to. It's not just a piece of art. It's actually, I made sure to take care of every step in between creating this beer to be able to explain it and show that this is a quality product because of what it is I'm presenting, that therefore the people who may not be into it or may not drink it will be willing to at least try it. And if they're willing to at least try it for the sake of understanding it, that's all that I ask. Just try it once, see how you like it. Let me know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, hey, that's cool too. It may not be right for everyone, but it is a quality product that if you come across it, you can appreciate it. That's it, and that's all for that,
Well, when I talked to you before, and you told me like when you go to events and you're selling it, how do you like how you're explaining? How do you pitch it to? What is your routine behind it? Like if you're trying to sell me something on like a casual, like just someone there,
If you're just a random person,
just like a random person, maybe I'm not like into craft beer or anything like that.
Yeah.
How would you give me?
How would I get you hooked on it? It's all good. So I pretty much, just be like, hey, one, are you in a beer?
Not really. I mean, I drink beer, but like
not really.
Just not really. I mean, I like light beer. I don't like bitter beer or anything like that. I'm just really into like light crisp beer.
Okay, well, cool. Well, I'm a local artist from the Bay Area, Oakland, born and raised. I've been working on a recent project, and I recently came out with my own beer. So the beer itself was a collaboration between Speakeasy and myself, and we developed a concept as well as a flavor profile for a beer, which is a German-style sour infused with yuzu lemon. And, it's very lightweight. It's more so for someone who doesn't drink beer than a heavy beer drinker. And that is something that, you could be open to. And if not, hey, the cans are collectible, and I'm gonna be coming out with a whole series. FYI, if you don't know, now you know, but shh, don't tell nobody, please. So, it's all like, I want to really entice you, but I also want to make sure you laugh, because just as casual as we could be in conversation about it, I want you to be able to enjoy it and enjoy the thought of what it will present you with if you invest in it and if you try it.
Shit, I'm ready to buy some right now. I get that, but you covered every angle. You told them like, hey, if you only drink light beer, this is what this light beer offers.
Exactly.
If you're not looking for something heavy, this beer is not heavy.
Exactly.
This is low alcohol. If you're looking for something like that, but also, even if you don't like any of that, the beer is a collectible can.
Exactly.
So you make it exclusive on that end. You had it all covered down.
And you just invest in community.
That's it. And then you get someone like in because you're a local artist, and you let them know like, hey, when you buy the beer, not only are you supporting me, but you're supporting all the individuals that it took to plan this beer.
Absolutely.
Speakeasy.
Yeah.
Hunters Point Brewery here in San Francisco, and it just all together you're selling it as one, but doing it in a way where you cover all your bases and you're direct, but you're also engaging and you're getting your audience into it. So definitely, I can see you selling shit like, man, you're a marketer. You got your shit down.
My thing is, I may not market everything, but when it comes to something that has my name and my face on it, I'm going to give you 100%, undeniably.
You talked about the flavor profile and how you developed that. And so how long time frame did it take? Like 6 weeks, something like that?
For the creating of the beer?
The creating of the beer, yeah.
About like 3 months.
Oh, so it took, about 3. So it took a little bit longer. So you developed the beer. You went through the process. You worked with the brewers on how to create it, and then they came up with some concepts. When we get towards the can art, how did you come up with this concept? I know that you said before that you had some help from family, and you're an artist, so you have a lot that you do. And so, was it easy or was it hard to make a choice for this?
I decided to submit several concepts, and I let the brewery decide on what they wanted to see on it. Now, the concept that was chosen, that's on the can, was actually referred to me. It was in my collection or portfolio, if you will. And my mom, she was like, submit that one. I was like, you don't think that's a little much? I was like, my first beer, and I just slapped my face on it, I was all like, you don't want to go for something a little chill. She was like, do that one. And I put that one in whatever I was submitting, along with all the other designs that I put with it. And the brewery chose that design. And it just made me laugh because it's all like all around. Yes, it's my beer. I definitely had a huge hand to play in it, along with everyone else who put their hands on it in time to create it. So I honestly, I'm so proud of it. And actually, on the side in the paragraph section of the can, I have a highlighted part that just refers to a band that I went to college with, Hyped Out. My friend Aaron Mack and Jamez, they passed away last December.
Sorry to hear.
It's all good, so it just made me push harder. I made a promise to myself that I would keep the Hyped Out legacy going, and I would make sure to put on and include them in all of my art and concepts that I do, because they had a huge impact on me and my upcoming as an artist from college till now, and even being able to get me into my first major gallery show, First Friday's Oakland Art Murmur. And that's what really, set me out to start making a lot bigger moves and getting recognized as an artist in the Bay Area. So,
that's a lot inspiration behind that stuff. Like I said, sorry for your loss. It just, art is something that a lot of people can do, but you got to find what you do best.
Exactly.
And I've noticed that the more you try to copy others, the less happy, and the less fulfilled you are going to be at what you're trying to accomplish rather than just do your own stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And just be true to yourself. And then you find out what you really like and who you are as an individual.
Oh yeah.
And my biggest thing that came out of this pandemic was learn to create, because I was sitting in my house. And then a couple weeks go by, you know, at the first 5 months of the pandemic, man, we didn't know what the hell we're doing. Like, I remember I was wiping groceries down. Like, I had gloves. I was putting sanitation like on disposable gloves, you know, like the alcohol stuff on your gloves and stuff. I was doing stuff like that. I was super scared to sneeze. I was like, every time I was gonna sneeze, like in a place where people were around, I was like holding. I was like trying to like hold it, because if you did sneeze, like people will look at you like,
oh, like you're crazy, or like you have a fucking disease. Like, oh my god,
this guy's gonna die right now.
Yes,
like it's just like some crazy shit. So like during that time, my head was all over the place. I was like, man, fuck it, we're all gonna go anyway. So like, you know, I'll party hard one day, I'll be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, relax, like we're fine. And then I'll be like all happy, and I'll be like, all right, we could get past this pandemic. And every time I got to that point, something happened. Either like a family member got sick, or someone I know got sick really bad, or someone I know that's in the hospital. I'm like, and then it just sunk me again. So those flows, and I was trying to figure out how to combat this, because my birthday is in April, end of April. And when the pandemic happened, everything was shut down out here. Yeah. And I couldn't do anything for my birthday. It's not like usually we travel for my birthday, me and my girlfriend, like we go places or we do things. And the saddest part was like, there's nothing to do because nothing was open. So we tried to go to the coast, me, my girlfriend, and like a couple of friends. We hopped in the car, we drove up the one north, and we tried to park because they had everything blocked off. They had cones. Oh
yeah, towards Ocean Beach. Everything was blocked off.
We went up north, like we went up by like Santa Rosa and then took left. Like we're trying to figure out, like find a spot. Everywhere was closed off. So we hit one patch of like on the side of the one, like where there's just like a pull off lane. Yeah. So we pulled off. There was no cones there. There's cones up ahead. So we're there chilling. And this one guy comes by with like a siren. And I thought it was like, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get a ticket. I thought it was a cop. It was just like a concerned citizen. And he had a siren and a megaphone, and he was yelling at us to leave. And I was just like, fuck, this fucking sucks. And then I got home and I was just like, man, what can I do? Like, what is it that I can do? And then that's when I started exploring, like, I need to learn how to be creative. Yeah. I'm not a good drawer. I'm not a good anything. The only thing that I do creative wise is like, I'm good at telling stories and I could talk.
There it is.
And so I was trying to learn how to develop that skill. Before we carry on, I want to take a beer break. I want to open one of these, and then we'll cut back in.
For sure. I was going to be all like, I wanted to crack one. Yeah, no. I wanted to crack one and get the... You want to go ahead? We'll crack it and we'll bring it back. Hell yeah.
All right, and we're back.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get this.
The AMCSR. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
I just talked over it. Shit.
It's fire. Are y'all ready for this shit? Oh my God. Sheesh. We want to thank our sponsor, Speakeasy, for going ahead and letting us do this podcast interview here.
It's always a smooth pour. The thing I really do like about this is like, it's just very low alcohol content. It's like a 3 point.
It's for chilling.
3.8.
You know, it's like, for me, I gotta have 3 of these and be all like, all right, I'm good. Like, I'm where I need to be. It's not something that you'll overdo or get excessively intoxicated over, but it'll just get you right. You know, like, it's perfect for conversing, chilling, at a party, picnic, like summertime, you know, good vibes. So all around universal beer where you could take anywhere. I take it on hikes. I take it to shows. If I'm feeling real good, I'll take it to other establishments, do taste testing or samples, because it's all like, it's not something that I'm trying to sit up here and force on people. It's something that I want people to be open about and be all like, okay, you know, like, all right, this guy has his own beer. I tell my friends all the time, I was all like, do you know anyone in y'all circles that have your all own beer? Or do you know anyone that has their own beer? That's not me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to boast. I was all like, this is life changing for me because no one in my circle is doing it, you know? And it's like, if that's the case, I want to make sure that I'm making the time or taking the time and being and doing something more than everyone else around me, because we can all achieve our dreams. We can all do what we want to if we take the time to focus on it.
And you never know what happens. So like you're coming up and you're doing your thing, and maybe you put someone else on,
Exactly.
and then they put someone else on. So that's what happened to me. You know, someone put me on, and then it just went like that. When I started getting guests, like someone put me on, they're like, hey, this person right here. And then that's how I started getting people, and I started building it up and everything. And so that's how it starts, you know, just doing good things, and it just always comes back to you eventually, you know.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, and I don't mean to cut you off. This is exactly why I even created this beer, to use it as a pilot, if you will, to be able to start integrating local artists into doing more than just what I call traditional artwork. Mm-hmm. It's easy to, you know, put stuff on canvas. It's, you know, cool to put stuff in galleries. I'm not knocking any of that. I did all of that, you know, but at some point in time, I started thinking from a business standpoint, how do I see a return on stuff that I'm doing? What does that look like for me as an artist? You know, I've done galleries. I've sold pieces out of galleries. I don't know any artists that have their own beer that's marketing their own beer with their artwork and put their hand in the process to creating the profile of a beer.
I know a perfect artist that has his hand in a lot of things, and I think he's a genius behind it. And it's just like no gimmick, because he lives that way. And that's a local legend out here, E40. He has his Slurricane, he has his everything else, man. Like he has wine, he has other
Y40,
he has a tequila, like he has all his shit, and he's just about it, and he knows how to market things. But he's an artist. He just doesn't make something and slap his name behind it and like, here, go sell it. Not like, he lives by what he does. Like And so, I mean, I buy his stuff. Like I remember people were like just like freaked out about like Slurricane. I'm like, I like Slurricane, but that shit give me a nasty headache. But
40 water. That was my shit. 40 water and hyphy juice. Oh my God.
How much products do you think he put out? Because I don't know.
A lot.
So many.
Between energy drinks, between alcohol, between beer, tequila, wine. He just, you know what? Congratulations, C40. He just did his stuff with Goon with the Spoon. Like, and that's official now. And he's really doing this thing and taking it off, you know, like from everything that he does, and he's still doing it, and he's been consistent all the way through, you know, like that's the name of the game.
And the reason why I love E42, because he's always at like the Giants events. He's always at 49ers, the Warriors. He's always there,
involved,
just supporting, and he's like a big part of it, of the culture that goes around the Bay Area and the sports culture. And he mixes everything together, old and new. You know, old, like the old heads love him. They love his old stuff, like his 90s music.
Oh, absolutely.
He has some of the best music that came out, the early 2000s, mid 2000s and stuff. And then like I grew up, I love E40, and then I have younger, you know, family members that know, and they know who he is.
Definitely.
And so he was able to keep his name and everything he's going for like a really long time.
Definitely.
But that speaks volumes of the type of person and character and artist he is.
Exactly.
Not a lot of artists could do that. Some artists have their time and then they fade. And so like you're right. How do you establish your foothold or your footprint? I mean, in like different directions, but being authentic to who you are as a person or an artist?
It takes jumping off the edge, you know. I wanted to do a lot. I've done a lot, and I'm still doing a lot. I hold myself to a high standard, and I feel like being able to do something like this just affirms that anything I want to do is worth it, and I can actually make it happen. Seeing the visual representation of people that look like me, that are doing exactly what I'm doing, you know, proves that I'm exactly where I need to be, and I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. I just got to stay consistent and keep following through, you know, It's being able, slow progress is better than no progress at the end of the day. You feel me? So it don't matter how long it take, finish your race. No matter what you doing, finish your race. Don't worry about what everybody else doing. Don't pay attention to it. Make sure that whatever it is that you doing is genuine, and make sure you're doing it off the humble, because people read bullshit. People know what it look like, what it smell like, what it tastes like. You can't bullshit. You feel me? And that's why I always try to put a good foot forward, because even what I have in my beer, I don't even got to talk to you about it. I could just give you a can and be like, let me know what you think. It's going to do what it needs to do on its own. Developing a product where it could do that for you speaks volumes. When I was 9 years old, I had some crazy dream, and I woke up and was all like, how do I make money while I sleep? At 9 years old. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where'd that come from? But it always stayed with me. Like, what does that look like? How do I attain that? How do I make that my reality? How do I take myself to the next level? And in order to be more, you have to do more. It takes rules, it takes discipline, it takes dedication and consistency. And I had one of my friends from college. He was like, bro, I remember when you was drawing and people was just looking at you like you was crazy. And because I'm all like, no, I'm an artist. That's what I do, and people was all like, oh, yeah, it's what you do. And now, 10 plus years later, I'm doing it. And he's all like, bro, you ain't never gave up. You stay true to that. And it's all like.
Did you go to school for art, or did you go to
I went to school for graphic design at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina.
How do you like that? Was it fun?
Oh, I loved it. It was an HBCU. It was an experience like no other.
For someone that's not familiar with HBCUs, like I've never been on one of the campuses.
Sure.
I do know a little bit about a little bit of the history behind it and stuff, but how was it? Like, how was the experience? Would you recommend that for other people to go that route?
Absolutely. I put it to you like this. My school, they had the first Latina fraternity and sorority. They did a lot of stuff aside from, the Divine Nine and all the other stuff that you can expect from every other college. They kind of, broke the mold and expanded what they had to create it to be more universally appropriate, so that it was open to all and it wasn't exclusive to some. You know what I'm saying?
That's fuck.
Yeah.
You hit me with some real shit right there.
For real.
That was it. So, like, going to university and getting graphic, did that change your perception of what it means to be an artist?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. Yo, so I had this Professor Kirkland. Oh my God. He tested the hell out of whoever took his class. But it taught me something. It was, people won't say that they gonna do what they gonna do. Anyone could talk about it, but can you really follow through and be about it? What's your action speaking, And he taught me so many lessons because I understood the message he was trying to get us to understand, which was, if you here to go to college to do art, you in the wrong spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it actually does.
It's like, you come here to college to do art, you in the wrong stuff. This ain't...
you can do that shit at home.
Exactly. You can do this shit by yourself. You don't even got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But if you here to learn and educate yourself to be more and to become a professional and to create a career where you can make an income and a lifestyle off of, this is for you. Because you going to work for this. And what it is that he taught me was the foundation of what it means to be an artist and follow through and be taken seriously as a professional. To know vocabulary, to know the art history, you know what I'm saying? Like, to really understand what it is that you delivering as an artist and what your purpose is in this world and lifetime that you get to decide and create. How bad do you really want it? I put it to you like this. everyone in my class, graduating class that I went to class with for my art program, none of them are doing art. I'm doing art. So that one out of however many hundred students was there. You see how many people it affected and that trickle down effect? You know what I'm saying? That's what he was trying to teach me. People that say, oh, yeah, I'm an artist. Or, oh, how long you been doing it? 3 months. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm trying to knock you, but
you gotta earn the stripes, right?
Exactly. You gotta work for this shit, you know? And it's funny because a good example is if I ask someone, oh, how long you been an artist? And they be like, all my life. I was all like, I fuck with you. Because that's real. You know, like, and that's what it is. Like, nah, I woke up like this. Like, this is what I do. This is who I am.
At what age did you know you wanted to be an artist?
22.
22. What sparked it for you? What was the change?
I was doing my senior thesis, and after I gave my senior thesis, this lady approached me. She was like, how much? Now, mind you, I'm just a college student that's been up for 48 hours giving my senior thesis to a group of people that I've never met a day in my life. One person out of that group approached me to say, how much for that piece of art? And I was all like, what? Let me go outside and scream my heart out because this shit's crazy. And that's really where I was all like, I can really do this. Like, I'm meant for this, you know? And after that, I was living in Charlotte, and I was on Instagram, and I saw that this artist, Denier Davis, she is, I want to say a Charlotte native, and she's been doing art, spray paint murals out there, custom shoes, all of that for some time now. And I saw an Instagram post from her, and she was doing live body painting. And I'm all like, who the fuck? What is this? Like, what is that? So I hit her, and I was like, yo, I'm a photographer. I would like to do photography for you for this event. She was like, it's good. Come out, enjoy the vibe, check it out, see, you know, come have a good time. So I went, I'm taking pictures, but I'm in awe. Because I'm like, yo, who's doing this? You know, this is like 2015, like end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And I'm all like, yo, who the fuck is doing body? What is this? Like, where have I been at? And how long has this been going on for, you know? So I was shocked. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. But I was intrigued. And I took it on as a challenge. And I was all like, well, shit, maybe this may be my avenue. So I had my homie who had his own magazine company, and I was like, yo, I want to do a body painting party at my crib. He was like, all right, that's good. I'll make some calls. We'll make it happen. So next day I get off work, and by that night, several models came. I had a group of my friends from college, hookah. I cooked for everyone. And I started body painting or teaching myself how to body paint, whatever that looked like at that time. And from there, you know, I started getting contacted for fashion shows, you know, private body painting. I got my first private body painting, paid private body painting, like beginning of 2016, you know, strictly off Instagram. And thus far, I've been getting a lot of my business off Instagram. And it's really become a business avenue to promote myself and my brand, to really showcase to the world what it is that I'm doing and what I have to offer. So I've built that off of body paint, you know. And then beginning the pandemic, I started doing murals with the Bay Area Mural program. And Rachel Wolf, that's my mentor, she really taught me the ins and outs of doing murals. And just showing me what the possibilities are in doing so, you know? So I was doing a couple murals. I did one at 7th West. And shout out to 7th West because they became my first Oakland side beer distributor in 2021. You know what I'm saying? And they just sold out of my beer. So, nice. You know, it's all like, I know that it's good. And everyone who's trying it knows that it's good. I want to make sure that everyone appreciates it as much time as it took for me and the guys that had actually created it, see that.
So this actually didn't take, from what I'm getting, it didn't take 3 months to create. It took a lifetime, right? It took you months.
It took
years.
about a whole year overall to plan everything out.
And it just took a lifetime as an artist to get to that point. To
Absolutely.
even make the creation, because you had to go through ups and downs and what
definitely.
worked, what didn't work. And then the different avenues you go through.
Yeah.
You get older, you mature, so you think different on what you want to do.
For real.
When I was younger, I would have never wanted to create a beer. As I'm older now, like this seems interesting as fuck, and I really want to do one of these things.
Tell me about it.
Like this seems like hella fun. Like I do want to get eventually get to that point.
Yeah.
I know you brought up a couple of times of like being consistent, dedication and stuff, and so like it is songs that I hear when I'm like down and stuff is like Consistent by Larry June. Just it's like on a
organic
like,
work.
Like his beat was just like it's just mellow
perfect.
and everything. It goes perfect, right? When you're out here and just learning, just like stay consistent. Just like the words that ring true, or just dedication, having dedication to your craft and everything like that. So that's where music plays a big part of art,
absolutely,
and then the culture and everything together.
Absolutely.
Who are some artists that you take inspiration from?
Larry June, Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, Currency, and of course my homies Aaron Hall and Jamez Manning. Hyped out. Definitely.
Just drawing inspiration from artists and seeing their craft and then bringing it to light to what you do. It brings me to another question, is like, what have you found, or do you know what your purpose is as an artist?
Yeah, that kind of came to me pretty crazy, actually. When I had to paint my homies that passed away, it really triggered me and was like, damn, I would have never thought, that I would have had to immortalize my friends, my family that are no longer here. As an artist, it's my responsibility to pay homage to those that was here before me, to pay homage to those who created and made way so that I could do exactly what it is that I do right here, right now. And if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be no me. There wouldn't be no Beitia, And that shit really hits home because I don't live for myself. I live for those who don't have a voice anymore, who can't physically be here, And it's bittersweet, but most importantly, it just lights a fire under my ass to keep fucking going, like to keep pushing. Life could always be worse. But we keep waking up and having the opportunity to live. You can't create as an artist if you're not living. And that's been my biggest thing this whole year.
Yeah, man. I appreciate everything that you said, and some wise words. I know that I go through this, and I don't know if other people go through it, but sometimes I go through like a roller coaster of emotions. Like sometimes I just want to create all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to hustle, and I'm doing as much as I can. And then there's sometimes where I just don't have it. Like I just don't have the ability. Like I feel like, man, I could do this, but I just don't have the energy or just like no want. And I end up getting mad at myself because I'm like, dude, why are you wasting time or wasting opportunity when you could be doing something?
Yeah.
But there's some times where I hit a block and I just like, I need to refresh or just go do something different.
Oh my God.
And it's like when I do that, I come back and I'm just like, oh fuck, I needed that so bad. Like I didn't know how much I needed to reset.
It's important as an artist. It's important as a human being to take that time to yourself. For me, being a black man in America, it's important. My mental health is important, and that's something that isn't talked about. It's not communicated. We're always taught as men in general, you got to be hard. You got to, be strong. And you can, but you can also be compassionate. You can also be understanding. You can also know that it's okay to show your feelings. It's okay to, let your guard down and just let that shit out, and I think for me, for my friends passing away, let me know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to let that shit out. That's how you'll never get over how you feel about it, but you can learn to get through it. You feel me? And that really is triggering, but it's really triggering, but it also hits home because it's like, what else do you have to lose?
Yeah, man. For me, death is really hard. Like, it's really hard for me to I have a hard time with that because my uncle and aunt passed away, and I didn't go to both of their funerals, and it is something that it gets me. Like, I haven't been to where they're buried at. Yeah, and it's been years now. I think it's been like 7 years. Gotcha. Like for my uncle and like 5 for my aunt or something like that. And I'm from a little town called Kerman, next to Fresno, 15 minutes west of Fresno. Born in Fresno, but I moved to Kerman where my other family lived. And I went to from like 10 years old all the way till I was like 19 when I left. But growing up in Kerman, back and forth to Fresno, it's a small town. When I lived there, it was like 12,000 people. And now it's growing. We have a Walmart, so we're big now. Yeah. So
Wally World.
We're big now. But it's crazy because right across that Walmart, we have our little cemetery.
Oh, okay.
And so we have a cemetery, and I have a lot of family members buried there. But it's hard for me to go do that. I think I have trouble with the emotions I have, and I have my guards up all the time.
Very reserved.
It's crazy because I've been a counselor and I've done things and I've helped a lot of people. But as far as myself, I have a lot of work to do and I won't do it. I just went to a funeral this week. My brother's baby passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
When he was a newborn. So it just happened a couple weeks ago. And the baby didn't make it past a couple hours because he was born without kidney function.
Got you.
And so it was hard because I wanted to be there and stuff because I want to be supportive of my brother. Yeah. But it was hard for me to get to like the reception part and everything. I got to the burial, but when I got there and I saw how little that casket was, that shit fucked me up. Yeah. It fucked me up hard. And I was just like, trying to like walk away because I'm all teary eyed and everything, dude. And that shit fucked me up. And then what made me feel better was that when I went up to my brother and his wife, how like calm and like in the moment they were, and they were just appreciative of everyone being there. And I realized they're okay, I could be okay. Absolutely. So that's what I needed because I was like, I felt like I couldn't break down in that moment. Because I wanted to show strength for my brother because I thought he needed that. In reality,
he didn't.
He just wanted us being there. And so like those are the little things that play back. And so that was like the first time I made myself go to like a funeral in a while. Because that shit, I struggle with it so much. I understand. I have no fucking clue why.
I understand. And, it takes time, I feel that the conversation of death in America is foreign. I feel like it's very foreign because of the fact that it's something that no one wants to discuss, But if you think about it, death is life's change agent. We all have our due date, My thing is, what are you going to do with the time that you have while you're here? We got a day we come into this world. We have a day where we're going to leave this world. But that little black dash in the middle between those two dates determines every little thing that you've ever done in your entire life. So whenever that time comes, are you going to regret anything? Or can you actually be good and be like, you know what? I gave it my best fucking shot and I did as much as I could possibly fucking do. And I know that they know that. You feel me? The world gonna know my fucking name. I plan to be in fucking textbooks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this name will carry on generations after I'm long gone because I'm putting in the work right fucking now. I'm making sure that my name, my brand, whatever it is that I'm doing is going to last that long. So I don't have the luxury of sitting here and letting time go by and being willy-nilly and taking it one day at a time. I'm trying to live my lifetime right now so that when I do get older, I could chill because I put in the work now. So my 29-year-old self is looking out for my 39-year-old self, my 49-year-old self, my 59-year-old self. Because if I don't, I'm not trying to be, a OG still working when I should be retired. At the end of the day, still, my main thing was, how do I make money while I sleep? I want to make sure I'm taken care of. So whatever that looks like, whatever I need to learn in order to get there, I'm going to make that sacrifice to do it, because I want to make sure that I'm taken care of. And whenever I create a family, they taken care of, because I took those steps and I made those sacrifices,
Fuck. That's some real shit right there. Some real shit. I feel that. That's how it is. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast, speaking some truth tonight.
For sure.
Putting out your beer, like I said, high quality, man. This is some good shit. Like, especially being your first time doing all this. Where can people find you at, and where can they find the beer?
You can find me once again on Instagram at I am King Beitia. You can also find the beer at Speakeasy Ales and Lagers in the Hunters Point Brewery here in San Francisco. They got to go 4-packs. They got it on tap. And I mean, who knows? Maybe getting it all throughout Frisco now. Stay tuned.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
For sure.